Hello, folks, and welcome to another great edition of Joburg Today. I'm your host, Leroy Viaggi. Always On has figured out a way to drive down the cost of data. A few months ago, they introduced the airtime converting system onto their Wi-Fi network. We speak to Managing Director Hayden Lamberti to find out more.
Reloader, converter, connector. Whether you're with Vodacom, MTN or Cell C, converting your airtime into Always On Wi-Fi.
Hayden, welcome. Great to have you with us in studio. Always On has taken a leap of hope for consumers struggling with the high cost of data. Tell us more about your recent launch called the Airtime Converter and how much of traction that's gained.
100%. Well, thank you for having us. It's a pleasure to be here. The Airtime Converter that we launched a little while ago, probably about a month ago, which has been very successful, gave our users the ability to convert their cellular airtime across the major mobile networks into airtime on our network. What we've found over the last years is we have a very, very high user base, probably about 1.4 million unique people per month using our network. And we found that the behavior of those users were that they were using the free every single day, day after day. And what that led us to believe is that the people who are using the network didn't really have the payment mechanism that we took at the time, which was credit card. Mm-hmm. And so our challenge became trying to make that network accessible to people who wanted to pay more to get more data, but to do that in a mechanism in a way that they could convert some sort of currency or their currency to airtime on our network. And so we created the Airtime Converter. It's been incredibly successful. And it basically has backed up our theory that people were not converting to paid, not because they didn't want to, because there is value on our network and it is more cost-effective way to use the internet, but simply because at that stage, when we only took credit card as a payment, they simply didn't have the means. So what we've done is make the network's always been accessible to people to use the free, but we've made people have the ability to derive a lot more value out of it, which we're very excited about.
Sounds absolutely incredible.
Yes.
I mean, it's a huge blessing. I always capitalize on Always On wherever I go, wherever it's available. But for people who still really don't grasp exactly how to benefit from the Airtime Converter, perhaps you can just illuminate us further in terms of how we can access it
100%.
And how does it work technically?
Yes, so 100%. So when you log onto the Always On network, you're typically presented with our landing page, which you have to go through a process, and we have to legally do that. We can't just let you on just in the background. We need to know who you are, similar to RICA. When you go through that process, you'll see there is the ability to buy Wi-Fi. You click on buy Wi-Fi. One of the options is credit card, but the primary option is the Airtime Converter. What you would do in that instance is you would put in your cell phone number, you would click one button, and it's done.
Fantastic.
You would be on immediately.
And how
so
does
it's simply a one-click process.
It reduces the cost of what you would pay to your network
yes.
that you subscribe
so there's
to.
a very big differential between the cost to deliver, although there is a very real cost to deliver Wi-Fi, it's a lot more cost effective for us to deliver Wi-Fi than it would be mobile data or cellular data as people call it. They have very large license fees that they have to pay for the spectrum. They have certain preconditions that are imposed on them by the government in terms of their coverage, which makes running that network very, very, very expensive. And what we don't really have those kind of costs, and we can deliver a lot more value through our network because we don't carry those sort of costs, which is why intrinsically Wi-Fi is a lot more cost effective than mobile data. And when you convert your mobile data to Always On airtime, you're typically getting a hell of a lot more bang for buck, so to speak, in terms of the amount of data that we're able to give you for said currency. And the currencies that we take are anything from 15 Rand up to 50 Rand.
What's on the cards?
So for me, using Wi-Fi for ancillary services, so let's leave the Wi-Fi network to do something else, is critical. We've got lots of plans in our heads in terms of what we could offer in terms of alternative value. Once again, though, I do sit and fluctuate.
I like that
between,
term, alternative value.
Yeah, I do fluctuate greatly between, do we offer alternative value to the people who are already using the network, and we know who they are and they use it regularly, or do we put our, and this is where I'm butted now, is do we put our focus in getting our networks where the networks are really needed and extending the coverage so we can have more people have access to the network. That is our core business, and whilst I think we could be very successful doing other things, I think we should focus mainly on that. Let's be the best Wi-Fi provider. Let's be ubiquitous in terms of where we are before we start thinking about overly complex things that we could do over the network.
Fantastic having you with us. Thank you so much for your time.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
Come and be a part of the conversation by liking our Facebook page. That's joburgtoday.tv. Follow the real trend in Joburg on our Twitter account at Joburg Today. We take a look at the Jozi Digital Ambassador Initiative that not only seeks to keep the city connected through Wi-Fi, but also provide employment opportunities for the youth of Joburg.
I think it's amazing for the city to provide its citizens with free Wi-Fi. It's totally bridging the digital divide, and going digital brings the world to the people. You don't have to take the people to the world.
My contribution, you can see I'm assisting customers, try to convince them to register to access free Wi-Fi so that they will have to understand technology. Challenges it's very much a problem because you're approaching a stranger and you don't know how the person is going to react.
The experience has been good. I actually met a number of different characters. Like, you get to communicate, you learn how to convince people, learn how to market yourself. Yeah.
We speak to Lizelle Kristen, the project director of Jozi Digital Ambassadors, to gain more insight about this initiative.
It came about by the mayor of Johannesburg, Mayor Parks Tau. It's an amazing concept where the city is rolling out 1,000 Wi-Fi hotspots, free Wi-Fi. And we know from experience in other cities that if you don't train residents how to use the Wi-Fi, they keep on using data. So what happens is Harambee sources and selects and bridge the youth. They provide them to UJ, and UJ capacitates and contracts these unemployed youth. So the contracts are for 12 weeks, and in those 12 weeks they have a certain target of residents that they have to train. And then what we do is we provide them with training, with tablets which they have to pay back as digital enterprises. We provide them with mentors at their access points to support them with the real workplace problems. So every 2 weeks we pay them depending on the number of residents they've trained. So we have a very successful micro-enterprise contracting system we have.
We took to the streets to speak to some of the students about their feedback on the city's Wi-Fi initiative.
As a student living in Johannesburg currently, it is of great importance for us to have such people who are going to meet our needs and actually giving us this free Wi-Fi. For us to do our assignments and etc., it is quite a privilege.
Usually, if it's free Wi-Fi, it's slow because everyone is on the Wi-Fi, but the difference is the network is fast.
With the city of Johannesburg's plan to roll out 1,000 free Wi-Fi hotspots in Johannesburg, it's fair to say that the Jozi Digital Ambassador Initiative tackles unemployment and offers free Wi-Fi to the city of Johannesburg, which contributes to the city's success. I'm Ray for Joburg Today.
I'm Bryce Nicholson, and you're watching Joburg Today.
Well, that's it for today's show, but if you want to know more about what's happening in and around Johannesburg, you have to check our playlist. From me, Leroy, and the guys behind the scenes, till next time.